Hello there, welcome to Talking Europe. Now, the Cannes Film Festival, the Royal Ballet, the Venice Biennale. From movies to literature to visual arts and performance, the European continent is a melting pot of internationally renowned arts and culture. As we enter awards season, the European Parliament has gotten in there early, handing out the only cinema prize to be awarded by a parliament anywhere in the world. It's called the Lux Prize. It's been going since 2007 with the intention of casting an annual spotlight on films that, quote, go to the heart of European public debate. In our programme today, we'll be asking about this and other crossovers of culture and politics. How far should governmental bodies go in promoting arts and culture? How much public money should be spent on it? And what impact is there on artists and their work? We have an esteemed panel with us here in the studio today. On my left, Christophe Lebarc, who's the Secretary General of the Directors' Fortnight Competition at Cannes. Hello there. And also, most pertinently for today, a member of the Lux Prize jury, which selects the long list and the short list.
Yes, that's
perfect. So you've seen all the films. Lovely. Across the other side, we have Laurence Farin, a French MEP. Hello.
Hello.
Now, you're with the centrist Renew Europe group and a member of the Culture and Education Committee at the European Parliament, so very much involved in this prize. And we have with us as well French filmmaker Christian Volkmann. You've just released your latest feature film. It's a horror thriller starring Olga Kurylenko. Psychological.
Yeah.
And it's called The Room.
Exactly.
Okay, and it's just come out around Europe. So we'll start off with the Lux Prize itself. Christian, you haven't seen any of the films that were on the shortlist, so you're going to discover them, perhaps along with much of our audience. Here's a look for you at the 3 movies that were on the shortlist this year.
This could either be the world's biggest murder mystery or the world's most idiotic conspiracy theory.
The European Parliament unveiled the 3 finalists of the Lux Film Prize. The investigative documentary Cold Case Hammarskjöld dives into the mysterious death in 1961 of the Swedish UN Secretary-General Dag Hammarskjöld. Danish director Mads Brügger teams up with Swedish investigator Göran Björkdahl and unearths some new details about the crash in the context of Cold War politics.
Prevaricación, fraude continuado a la administración pública, estafa y falsedad en concurso y tráfico de influencias. ¿Algo que declarar?
¿Qué ha pasado?
Hay unas grabaciones.
El registro ha comenzado a primera hora de la mañana.
A partir de ahora quiero que me lo cuentes todo.
The thriller The Realm addresses a more current style of political scandal, depicting the fall of a corrupt politician. It's a fast-moving, adrenaline-packed drama by Spanish director Rodrigo Sorogoyen that skewers the wheeling and dealing of government. In God Exists, Her Name is Petrunia, the North Macedonian director Tiona Strugar-Mitevska shines a light on feminism, conventions and religion in her country. The film follows a young woman who decides to go against her village's ancestral religious and societal traditions.
And the winner this year was God Exists, Her Name is Petrunia, the last film that you saw there in that sequence. We ought to say that the winning film gets adapted for visually and hearing impaired people. It gets extra promotional help from the European Parliament as well. And as I said, it's MEPs who vote for the winner. So Laurence Farin, you were one of the people who get to choose. Yeah. I'm sure you had great discussions with your colleagues about all 3. Yes. Why did your colleagues opt for this film as the winner?
I think this film resonates especially with our time because it's about gender equality and it's about inequalities in our campaign and the big town and between the West and East. So all that topics I think were very important for the choice.
And Christophe, of course, you helped to choose. Was this your favourite? Am I allowed to ask?
Of course.
It was your favourite. Oh, that's lucky. And do you agree with Laurence Farin? Were those the reasons why you chose?
Yes. Our task as a member of the experts committee is to we are chosen because we saw a lot of film. We see a lot of films, so we can have this this way to propose films that fits with the European topics.
So the public debates in Europe right now.
Yes, that's the aim of the Lux Prize.
Now, it's about shining a light partially as well on films that might not otherwise get attention. El Reno, the Spanish film, has actually been out in cinemas here in France and around the continent, but the other two films, much smaller, less well known. And just wondering about the impact of this kind of prize. Christian, if we come to you, it's not a very well-known prize, is it, the Lux Prize? But where do you think that this fits in with all of the other different awards and festivals that exist?
I guess it's not easy. It seems like it's very into our problems today. So it's probably very interesting to have any prize. As a filmmaker, it's always good to have a prize anyway. You're always you're able to show it to more people than if you have no prize, of course.
Okay, well, let's hear from the director who won this Lux Prize this year, Tiona Struga-Mitevska. She made quite a political speech herself when she picked up the award. So here she is speaking in Strasbourg in November.
I'm always criticized by Macedonian politicians that my films are too political. And it's true. I'm an author who is interested in society deviations. I take it my duty to voice my opinion and speak about problems that no one dares to raise. Because ultimately, how can we build a better future if we don't dare? Je suis une femme. Je suis macédonienne. Je suis européenne.
Tiona Struga-Mitevska giving you, as our guests were saying as they listened to that, a very passionate speech there in the European Parliament. So, Laurence Farrand, do you believe that this award will have an impact on those issues you were talking about, women's rights, those disparities between the countryside, the towns? Giving this prize, how will that help?
What we have to say is that Lux Prize is a very good opportunity for distribution because the three finalists will be distributed in whole Europe, and there is an help and it finances traduction in the 24 languages of European Union. So that's a huge opportunity for films to be seen. And you have seen the director. She's very passionate. She has made the film with her sister. So it's really a woman's movie. And it's very nice. And you see this actress, she's awesome, very soft, but she's rebelling against every authority, religious, masculinity. So it's a powerful film.
And what were you looking for then with the selections when you chose God Exists, Her Name is Petrunia, and the others? Actually, out of the three shortlisted films, they're taking on very different debates.
Yes. There is a genre film with the Realm, which is
the Spanish movie.
Yes, a documentary, and this film, My Name is Petrunia. What we can say that in France we are very lucky in terms of distribution because two of these three films has been released in France, but it's not the case in the whole Europe. So the importance of the spread of the film all over Europe by the Lux Prize, it's a very good opportunity to talk about the topics that are in these three films.
And as we said, it's not been going for that long. It's 12 years since the Lux Prize first came out.
And we can see that the impact of the Lux Prize is growing, going very, very better and better. Because at the beginning, I remember that the sale agents of the films were not very interested in proposing their films or giving us the film. But now, in terms of commercial impact, it is really important for all the sale agents because it's a very important opportunity to be seen in 24 more than 24 countries of Europe.
Yeah, they're certainly not necessarily films that I might have just gone and found by myself, but going to watch the screenings. If we talk not just about the prize, but about the whole, the way that the European Union is involved in creativity generally, there's a fund called Creative Europe that your committee is part of, sort of overseeing. It finances arts projects of all different kinds that are collaborations between at least 3 different countries. So why is it interesting to focus on these international collaborations particularly? Because it sounds quite complicated to me.
We have to face the American giant in production. So it's very important to create co-productions because the films have to defend themselves beyond the borders. So that's really a main subject, I think, a main challenge.
And Christian, as a filmmaker, I know that The Room, your latest film, is a co-production internationally.
Yeah, exactly. It's between Belgium and Luxembourg. So without them, I wouldn't have been able to make the film. At the beginning, we were supposed to do the film with Canadian, and we didn't find enough money there. And luckily, the Belgium said we'll go for it. So with France, Belgium, and Luxembourg, we were able to make the film, which is really interesting. It's an English-speaking film, so in the beginning of the process, I wanted the film to be internationally seen, you know. And it's also the language in France. Sometimes it's a little problem when you have like English films or a Spanish film. Or I decided to do it in English because I wanted the maximum, you know, to be seen everywhere. Because I think it's cinema is a way of speaking to everyone, you know.
And of course, the European Union is a collection of mostly actually quite small nations. We of course live in France, which is one of the dominant ones, but most of the EU countries are quite small by population. Christophe, are you seeing that more in the cinema industry? These cooperations, cross borders coming together.
Yes, and it's very important. You know, I work also for a Mediterranean film festival in Montpellier, and 3 years ago we had in the final, in the finalist in the Lux Prize, we had a Tunisian director, À peine j'ouvre les yeux, by Leila Bouzid, and so the co-production are very important also for the cultural exchange between Europe and Africa and other countries. But I think that now films. How can you have a Macedonian film arrived in a distribution in France? It's really the impact of the co-production, of the European co-production that allows this.
Now, of course, on the English channel of France 24, we are obliged, whenever we do Europe shows, to talk about Brexit. So just a tiny word about Brexit, how it comes into the cultural sphere. We had 4 very well-known British authors on our programme recently, and they were arguing that they think Brexit is actually going to be bad for the British arts sector. Take a listen to the author Kate Moss.
We're very lucky because we're novelists and our books go into lots and lots of languages, and we have millions of readers reading in any language that they choose. But in terms of the exchange of creativity, it's simply not good enough when the government says it's going to guarantee it. There won't be any money. And actually, the regeneration that's come both from Liverpool, but particularly most recently through Hull, has been quite astonishing. And if every single brilliant European director, brilliant European choreographer, musicians have to apply for a visa every time they want to come, they simply won't come.
So I'm very interested in what our guests have to say about this, because of course the Lux Prize won by this European collaboration, but as we've said, with a Northern Macedonian director, of course, Northern Macedonia, not an EU member. So is this a fair worry? Would you collaborate with British filmmakers, for example?
I think it's a horrible situation. I mean, whenever a country says, we don't want you anymore.
Is that how you perceive it?
It's some kind of rejection, you know. It's okay, you don't want to be part of the gang, you know, or something like that. And it feels bad for them and for us because it was so easy to go over there and to be part of the adventure. Now it seems like they don't want, to be part of it anymore.
I think we must say today Britain is still in. And that's very important. It's a very creative cinema. It's also headed towards American co-production, so that's interesting. And what we have to say today, they're still in because, European Parliament has made huge work on the audiovisual media service to obtain 30% of European productions on video streaming platforms. And today, that will appeal a lot of European productions, and Britain are with us.
So you think it's not the end?
It's not the end.
Perhaps
today.
one final word to you, Christophe. Do you see these collaborations continuing?
Yes, the artists are always before the politics. And when they want to collaborate, they do it before that the laws are here. And there are a lot of examples for this. I'm a little more confident that the cooperation with Brittany will keep on.
Okay, it is, of course, it's a massive cinema industry.
Yes.
It's a big, important part of the UK's economy.
You know, when you think Ken Loach, his French co-producer, is very important for him, and so we don't want not to have Ken Loach films.
So you think the artists will find a way?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, an optimistic message perhaps there to end. Thanks very much, everyone, for coming in for the programme. And thanks to our viewers for watching as well. I ought to say, keep your eyes peeled on France 24 because we are going to be broadcasting an interview with the 2019 Lux Prize winner, Teona Struga-Mitevska herself, in the next couple of weeks. So thanks again to all of my guests here in the studio for coming in. And we'll see you soon for more European news on France 24.